I'm sitting here in the boring room. It's just another rainy Sunday afternoon. I'm wasting my time, I got nothing to do. I'm hanging around, I'm waiting for you, but nothing ever happens. And I wonder, I'm driving around in my car. I'm driving too fast, I'm driving too far. I'd like to change my point of view. I feel so lonely, I'm waiting for you, but nothing ever happens. And I wonder how, I wonder why. Yesterday you told me about the blue, blue sky and all
2,000 years later.
Static dynamic stretching, very, very short one. Actually, in real rugby, we do it for a lot longer. And then we do a little bit of running just to get the heart rate up. Now that the heart rate is up, now it's going to be more challenging for you to focus. So now I'm going to teach you some basic ball skills. So in rugby, am I allowed to, if I'm playing this way, can I do this?
Yeah.
Why not? Always be ready. The ball has to go backwards. Very good. So that means if I play this way, I do this. Yes.
But there's a heavy cloud inside my head. I feel so tired, put myself into bed. Well, nothing ever happens. And I wonder, isolation is not good for me. Isolation, I don't want to sit on a lemon tree. I'm stepping around in the desert of joy. Maybe anyhow I'll get another toy and everything will happen. And you wonder, I wonder how, I wonder why. Yesterday you told me about the blue, blue sky, and all that I can see is just another lemon tree. I'm turning my head up and down. I'm turning, 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 turning around. And all that I can see is just a yellow lemon tree. And I wonder, I wonder how, I wonder why. Yesterday you told me about the blue, blue sky, and all that I can see, and all that I can see, and all that I can see is just a yellow lemon tree.
Always think, do I have an injury? Yes, my muscle doesn't feel very well. I need to warm it up more. Or I need to see a doctor. Or I'm a little bit sick. I can't participate in cardio. Always think about that. Safety first. Passing, but which pass did we look at first? The pop. Yes. The pop, where do we do it? Can we do it from there? Yes. Below the waist, and you take it nicely. When do we do a pop? When your friend is down there in Argentina? Close distance. Yes. So that was a pop pass that we did. And then, what was the second pass? Yes, the spinning pass. When do we do that?
Far away.
Yes, for longer distances. If your friend is right here next to you and you do a spinning pass, what's your friend gonna do? And the other team gets the ball. So always think distance, quick pop. Long distance, spinning pass. So then you did the one if you pass this way, right arm at the bottom, left arm there. If I pass that way, what do I do? Yes. And same. This is where the power comes from. And if I want to catch the ball, what do I do? I hold it here. And then if we run, what do you tell your partner? I'm here, I'm ready. Let your partner know. Because if your partner has the ball, they don't always see what's happening in front of them. Maybe you can see, and you can see, there's a gap opening up there. And then you say, play me now. So with rugby, it's all about timing, it's all about the skill. And most importantly, fitness as well.
My opinion on rugby and sports is that it's the best sport in the world. Does it reduce? Because it's very, very physical rugby. So it takes a lot of effort, and you need to be very fit to be able to play it. You need to be strong. So it's not just the sport, it's the whole life around the sport. So it forces you to exercise, it forces you to increase your skills, it forces you to go for a run outside. So all those are all stress relieving factors. Rugby is a team sport. You don't want to let your teammates down. So it does give you does give some pressure, but because you have a lot of support from the other players as well, it really helps you, and they motivate you to become a better person of who you are. So that really, really helps.
And in what situation would you like to release stress through exercise?
I like to go to the gym and work out, where you lifting weights. It makes you stronger, gives you more muscles. With more muscles, you become heavier, and you're able to. It's going to be difficult to be stopped in rugby, and it helps you. It's a little bit easier to play rugby then, but the disadvantage, on the other hand, is you are not as mobile. So that means you cannot run as fast. So it depends on the position you want to play. That's the nice thing about rugby. If you're small and fast, there's a position for you. If you're short and fat, there's another position for you. If you're tall and skinny, there's a position for you. So rugby welcomes all shapes and all sizes, but everyone needs to have a certain level of fitness. So that's why I like going to the gym, because a specific position that I play requires me being very strong and able to play for a long time, keeping my strength. Yes, so no matter where you are in the world, if there's a rugby club, so no matter your culture, your skin color, your religion, your language, everybody plays rugby. And if you're part of that community, when you're on that field, everybody is equal. And that's a big thing, the camaraderie, the friendship you have. That's why it's so nice.
We have the posts that continue past the crossbar. Posts that continue. So you've got like a H shape, and you can score on top or inside the goal. So rugby, you can only score through the top. But in Gaelic football, you can score in the goal or on top. Okay, so either scoring in the goal, which gets you 3 points, kicking, okay, or by kicking it between the posts on top, which gets you 1 point.
I wonder how, I wonder why. Yesterday you told me about the blue, blue sky, and all that I can see is just a yellow lemon tree. I'm turning my head up and down. I'm turning, 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 turning around, and all that I can see is just another lemon tree. Sing, da, 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 dee, da, 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 dee, da, 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 dee, dee, da. I'm sitting here, I miss the power. I'd like to go out, taking a shower, but there's a heavy cloud inside my head. I feel so tired, put myself into bed. Well, nothing ever happens, and I wonder.
Do you think you are under a lot of pressure at school?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yes.
Yes.
Of course.
Yes, currently, yes.
Yeah. You know, always got a lot of exams to do.
I think for personally, first of all, I'm in a lot of pressure, but I still got my extra time for myself to do some extra things.
It's like sometimes, but usually during task week when I have a lot of assessments, but also sometimes I feel a little bit confused about my future, like what kind of major I will choose in the future, and that kind of ideas that push me to think from different perspectives of my life, and that kind of mental pressure is larger than assessment, I think.
I'm not under a lot of pressure.
No.
I think yes, there is a lot of pressure at school at the minute. Yeah.
I think mainly come from my peers.
Peers, for example, my roommates and also my classmates, and others may come from myself because I will set a very high goal that's maybe really hard for me to achieve.
My awesome peers and the huge number of assessments, and maybe some academic competitions.
It may come from the academic pressure and also the exams and some pressure that maybe my family gave me. Yeah.
Peer pressure, because like even though we have a lot of exam, but like peer pressure is still the most stressful things you can ever get.
Like deadline and examination, which stress me a lot.
Like, always gotta do revision and exams, and you have to deal with a lot of relationships.
Assessments, basically all assessments, all assessments.
From my low grades, from my parents, not from teachers because they always encourage students, and from my classmates maybe. Yeah.
Stress comes from trying to help the students to achieve the best that they can.
At school, sometimes, especially around assessment season when there's a lot of marking, I'd get a little stressed out for sure. Just because it is a lot of work on top of planning our lessons and everything like that, and then also the amount of students that are also stressing out makes Mr. Zimfer stress out. But every time after assessment period, I feel that weight leave, and it feels so nice. But yeah, sometimes for sure.
Stress comes from this very high expectations at this school. I think students put pressure on themselves. The friendship groups talk about grades a lot. Parents talk about grades a lot, and it seems very grade focused school, which is fine, but it does put a lot of pressure on students.
Obviously, I'm not a person that do a lot of exercise.
Not really. When I feel pressure, I would like to choose other way to release my pressure rather than doing exercise. Yeah.
Badminton.
Basketball, playing games.
I play basketball, American football.
I do jogging, and that's basically what I do.
I go for a run after evening study for about half an hour, and it's a good way to relax.
So I play football, I play badminton, and I do climbing.
I do. That's a big way that I try to relieve my stress at least 3 or 4 times a week. I love lifting weights. It's like I'll do like cardio. I'll run for like 20 minutes, and then after that, I love weightlifting. I used to weightlift in high school. That was like a big sport of mine.
I think exercise is really important. I used to do a lot of cycling after school or go for a walk. But I would say over the last few months, I've done very little exercise, which is a shame.
To some extent, it makes me feel more energetic when I stay up late because it gives me maybe a healthier body conditions to cope with the stress in a physical perspective. It depends. If someone who really enjoy doing exercise, it definitely can release most of pressure in a more physical way. I think so.
When playing badminton, you are focused on the ball and you can move around. You don't have to stay in the same place. Also, sweating will help you release your stress.
You can spend time without thinking about your grades, your everything, then you can relax.
When you do a sport or doing exercise, you don't have to worry about those exams, and you just enjoy the game.
Very good extent. I think it helps you lose focus on your day-to-day activities and do something a little bit different to switch off, which I think is really good.
I mean, it's part of the reason why I love weightlifting so much. It's just like anytime I have like negative feelings, or if I'm like really angry or really stressed out, it's just a great way for me to just release all of that anger and stress in a very constructive way. So it's like if I don't lift weights like throughout the week, like I'll go nuts. You know, it's something that I need because it is like a stress reliever.
I think it's one of the best things for relieving stress. I think to get out and clear your mind. Like I say, used to play football every Friday with the other teachers. That was a good way to relieve stress. You could get a lot of anger and aggression out and run around. I think going for a walk or a cycle. I like cycling is really nice. Put your headphones in, put a good playlist on, and it really helps you kind of get out of the work and the stress zone. So I think exercise is really, really important. The problem with my country, unfortunately, is the weather. It rains a lot, it's very cold, so it kind of puts a lot of people from going out to run and cycle. As I said earlier, gyms generally quite expensive, or they used to be. It was very much more like for richer people would go to the gyms. But that is changing slightly. The gyms are becoming more affordable, more accessible. But really, unless you're part of a sports team as well, like an actual football team or rugby team, I would say generally adults in the UK probably don't do as much exercise as maybe in other countries. I've also lived in Spain, and again, maybe because of the weather. I used to live in Valencia, which is on the beach. So you often see people jogging, cycling, people playing volleyball on the beach. It wouldn't have to be an organized team event or anything like that. So I think maybe the weather, maybe the culture, but certainly I noticed in Spain, people were a lot more active.
Okay, all right. Ruth, how does my hair look?
I think it needs to be more windswept. There you go, that's better.
Okay, got it.
I don't think he should be sitting down to talk about exercise. Do you realise that? No, it's just the angle that you've got him at. There you go, right. I think you need to look more active.
Check flex?
Yeah,
Just like
I think so. Yeah.